I will always stand firmly against anti-Muslim hatred in all its forms. I will root out Islamophobia, I will challenge it, and my government will match those words with the action that they deserve. And that's why last week we announced up to £40 million in funding for security of mosques in Islam.
Something doesn't add up in what Keir Starmer just said, and people across the UK are starting to notice. During a Ramadan speech with British Muslim leaders, Starmer made bold claims about tackling Islamophobia, funding mosque security, and keeping Britain out of direct military conflict with Iran. But at the same time, he openly confirmed that UK military bases are being used in operations linked to that very conflict. So which is it? Is the UK truly staying out of this, or is it already involved in ways the public isn't being fully told? As tensions rise between Iran, the United States and Israel, this moment is now sparking serious questions about Labour's foreign policy, national security, and whether political messaging is saying one thing while actions suggest something else entirely. And there's one specific line in this speech, one detail most people missed, that changes how you see everything. Watch until the end, because without that moment, you're not getting the full picture.
And a huge thank you to the APPB on British Muslims for organising tonight, as they always do. It is a real honour to join you this evening in celebrating Iftar, and to do it for the second year running. And I know that we won't be alone here. Up and down the country, families and communities have been coming together throughout Ramadan, welcoming neighbours of all faiths and of none, strengthening the bonds of community and decency that unite us all, and reflecting in that moment of pause that Ramadan provides on our responsibilities to one another. It is a time, of course, of great generosity, of service and of celebration too. A celebration of faith and charity, of course, but also of the modern, diverse country that we are, a community of communities, where Muslims are at the forefront of Britain's story. And you see that represented so powerfully here this evening. But of course, this year I know that when we pause, so many people will turn their minds to the Middle East, where, yet again, the situation is grave and is dangerous. I want to reassure everybody here that we're doing everything we can to support British citizens in the Middle East and to bring families and loved ones home. The pictures we see of ordinary people on holiday, in transit, just going about their business in Dubai, Qatar, or wherever they may be, they should not be on the front line of conflict. No civilian should be on the front line of conflict. No civilian. Now, of course, the war in the Middle East did not begin last week. We've seen far too many innocent lives lost, women and children among them. In Gaza, most of all, we must not lose sight of them and the need for peace, justice and security in Palestine and Israel. But on Iran, I want to make clear the UK was not involved in the offensive strikes of the US and Israel, and that remains the case. As many of you will know, I never supported the Iraq war back in 2003, and I'm determined that we learn and follow the lessons today. However, Iran has attacked countries like us, who played no role, and many countries across the Middle East. They have made no distinction. The attacks are indiscriminate. And so what we're now doing is allowing our bases to be used for the defensive purposes of preventing those attacks and protecting innocent lives. Because that is what we need to do to support our Middle Eastern allies who have asked us for support. And that is how we protect British civilians caught in the crossfires. Sadly, I have to say something else that we're doing. We're reaching out to Muslim and Jewish community groups. We are making sure that sites across the country, including places of worship, have security in place. I'm pleased to do that. I'm sad that we have to do that. Because reverberations from events like these always come out. And they're exploited by people in this country who want to sow division. And frankly, people who want to target Muslims because they are Muslims. In recent years, we've seen this kind of hostility to Muslims increase, not just in its frequency, but in its very confidence as well. I remember visiting Peacehaven Mosque in Brighton shortly after the awful attack there last year. I went there to express my solidarity, to talk to the victims and the communities. And I was really touched by the defiance of the community there and all communities there who stood with the mosque. But it shouldn't have been like that. It should not have been like that. So let me be crystal clear. I will always stand firmly against anti-Muslim hatred in all its forms. I will root out Islamophobia. I will challenge it. And my government will match those words with the action that they deserve. And that's why last week we announced up to £40 million in funding for security of mosques and Islamist schools. And it's why I will fight with every breath I have to root out the hatred that seeks to divide us. But
if you want the truth to reach everyone, like this video, share it with your friends, and hit subscribe. Ahmad, don't miss out. Subscribe now to stay informed and see what others are trying to hide.